age and branch of service, please.
My name is Ray Fisher. I'm 79 years old, and I was in the Marine Corps. I'm from East Jordan. I graduated in 1962. I enlisted back, and well, I had 2 years of college. I was getting by, but I was running out of money. So I enlisted, and then due to my test scores and stuff, I ended up getting invited to go to OCS. So I did that, and then I ended up getting a commission. Officer Candidate Schools in Quantico, Virginia. Basic school where they teach you all the, once you pass, all the fundamentals is at Quantico also. Originally I was supposed to be the back seater in jets. Unknown to me, I was colorblind, so I ended up just being a regular, I guess what you call it, a regular Marine lieutenant. And I went over in August of '67, and I came back, well, in July '67, came back in August of '68.
So what did you do while you were there then?
I was a supply officer.
So do you remember finding out you were being deployed and how that felt?
Well, we just knew we were going to be. I mean, because that was when they were, increasing the people over in Vietnam, so.
And how did you get from here to there?
Oh, we just went to, you get your orders and they give you and say you're going to leave on this date, and we were flown over.
Landing where?
Landed in Da Nang. In fact, it was a funny story, if I can tell, I don't know if you want it or not, but when I got there, we're in this big Quonset hut, and across the room I see this guy. Anyway, he was from Boyne City, and we were friends from way back when. Which was a good shock,
Yes, exactly. So when you decided to enlist, I'm going back just real quick, so you weren't exactly sure.
No.
So knowing you were going to be deployed, you remember how that felt when that whole thought settled in? You were fine?
Yeah, then, because back then, we were trying to stop the aggression or whatever, keep the communists over there, or whatever they called it at that time, the spread of it.
So you landed in Da Nang, and then what happens from there?
From there, they flew us up to the ones, everybody, went different places. But I first went to Phu Bai, which was north, and eventually we were up near the DMZ. I was with 1st Battalion, 4th Marines. I'm
assuming you saw action.
I was in one ambush. I don't know if they hit our tires or not, but we got out of that Jeep and we changed that. Back then, we don't even know whether they used a jack or not. We just knew we weren't going to lose our place in line, because over there when they had an ambush, the Army had quad 50, four machine guns. The guy in the front, he headed to the back, and the guy in the back went on the other side of the road, heading to the front, just firing all the way.
How would you describe the year that you were there?
We used to get rocketed a lot, and there used to be, because a lot of Vietnamese people worked on the base, but if they said they had a holiday or something, they had to leave at noon, you knew what was going to happen during the afternoon. But a lot of times we'd get rockets at night, and you wanted to hear the whistle, because you knew it went over your head. And so, you had like 5 seconds to make a fast decision. There's a funny story, which I'm sure that, people here will laugh too. Because the Marines, we didn't have a lot of stuff, so we had to scrounge here and there. And we were making a raid on the Seabees, and the guy that came out and hollered at us was Jim McKinney. He lives in Ellsworth now, but so we had a good working relationship, after that.
And how did he respond to you trying to, how should we put it?
Acquire. What needed supplies. Well, first he hollered at me, and we said, "Is that you, Jim? Is that you, Ray?" Then we went from there.
Did you make off with supplies?
Oh yeah, we worked out, but all we wanted was some lumber, something to do something with, I forget exactly now, but.
What are the worst memories of being over there?
One time I had, I try to say this nicely, I hope. I had to, because I was in the rear, I'd go to Graves registration to identify the bodies, and the guy, his name was Rodriguez. And of course that was a popular name for people. And it was a shock that, I hate to use the word freezer, but basically they pulled out a body and said, "You recognize this guy?" And you go, "Not really." He says, "He was with 1st Battalion, 4th Marines," and then we'd have to, because in the rear, we'd have to go visit wounded soldiers, see if they needed anything, and some of them were still in pretty bad shape.
How did you get your orders to come back?
Well, you had to be there 13 months, and You know, you counted it, and then you heard horror stories of people the night before, you know, they'd rocket the runway in Da Nang. So, you know, you would hope it wasn't on your night where you're in Da Nang waiting to board the plane. Of course, once you got over the ocean, the whole plane cheered, of course, because we were out of there. The best memories, which one of my best one was people would come in Saigon. We were way up north. Saigon was way south. Celebrities would come and they'd go to Saigon, fly in, do their show, you know, and Bob Hope was the first. He started coming a little further north, but the first person to come to Phu-Bai, and to say the honest truth, was Woody Hayes from Ohio State coach. And he wanted to talk to the troops. He didn't want to talk to the generals and the colonels and all that. And he was on this 6-by and he wanted to talk to the troops, which totally impressed me because, you know, from Michigan, we always had a tarnished image of him.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys couldn't talk any of the rockets into the Ohio coach?
No, I thought it was because he was the first one, and more people started.
What do you remember about how it felt when you came home?
To me, it was all, you know, because I know it was unpopular then, but to me, I came home, we landed in LA International Airport, and no one was, you know, and there weren't protesters there, they weren't, you know, I was just happy to be home.
And did you come back here?
No, I still had to serve, another 9 months or almost a year. I was stationed at Headquarters Marine Corps in Arlington, Virginia. It's up from the Pentagon. In fact, it's near the Arlington Cemetery.
And what did your experience in the military help you later on in life?
Oh yeah, because in the Marines they teach you to be, especially as an officer, to be friendly but fair, anyway, firm but fair, friendly but formal. And then they had, one of their slogans was, "The change is forever." And it was, because, you know, they teach you good leadership qualities, and to, as an officer, you let the troops eat first, you know, and all that, things like that, which carry over, you know.
So the change in you is forever, is what they mean.
Yeah, and it's true.
Well, the name of this project that we're doing is Honor and Service. What do the words honor and service mean to you?
Well, it means that people that are in the service, you know, it's an honor. To me, it was an honor to be sent to Officer Kennedy School, you know, because, I don't know, I guess it just was. You know, I did good on my tests, and sometimes I joke about saying I had a high IQ back then. But it was an honor, you know, to serve our country and things like that. And, you know, I'm glad I made it back alive. Because we have like Don Rich, who I knew from school, and a guy named Humphrey Price from Boyne City, who didn't make it back. And like Don Rich, I always make sure that he has a new Marine flag on his grave every year. And, you know, I stop by once every so often and, you know, make sure things are squared away on his grave, because I feel that's my duty and an honor.